Hello viewers, let us try to solve for the value of x from this equation. 3 into bracket 3 raised to the power x with power 2 minus 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x plus 1 plus 3 is equal to 0. So here we need to write our solution, and then we write the same question here. So here, looking at the nature of the question, we need to apply the basic rule of indices to make justification of some of the terms. For instance, if we have 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x plus 1, this 3 raised to the power x plus 1 can be expanded in a different form. So here 3 raised to the power x plus 1 can be seen as 3 raised to the power x multiplied by 3 raised to the power 1, based on the basic law of indices. When we have similar base and there's a multiplication sign, then we need to add the exponential terms. That is why we see it in this form. 3 raised to the power x plus 1 is the same as 3 raised to the power x multiplied by 3 raised to the power 1. So in this case, our first step is going to be 3 into bracket 3 raised to the power x with power 2 minus 2 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x multiplied by 3 raised to the power 1 plus 3 is equal to 0. Remember, 3 raised to the power 1 is the same as 3. So in this case, we can use this 2 to multiply this 3 to give us 6. So here our next step is going to be 3 into brackets 3 raised to the power x with power 2 minus 2 multiplied by 3 will give us 6 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x plus 3 is equal to 0. So here we can observe from this equation that we have 3 raised to the power x here, we have 3 raised to the power x here. We cannot subtract 6 from 3 because this 3 raised to the power x has power 2. This one does not have power 2. So in this case, we cannot subtract 6 from 3. So what we have to do is, because the powers are not the same, then we need to let 3 raised to the power x represent an unknown number. So in this case, we can say let y represent 3 raised to the power x. This implies that wherever we see 3 raised to the power x in this equation, we need to put y there. So here our next step is going to be 3 into bracket, which is 3 raised to the power x. We need to put y there. So here y, and then with power 2 minus 6 multiplied by 3 raised to the power x is going to be 6y plus 3 is equal to 0. So from here, we need to apply the principles of quadratic equation to find the value for y. This is so because quadratic equation is in the form ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0, which is exactly the same thing as this one. Therefore, using the principle of quadratic equation, we observe that 3y squared, this y squared has a coefficient of 3, and then we have a constant value of 3. So here we need to look for two numbers in which, when multiplied, we get something. And what is that thing? Before we can get that thing, remember we have a coefficient of y squared. We have to multiply this 3 by the constant value to get 9. Therefore, which two numbers from the factors of 9 that when multiplied, we get 9, and when added, we get minus 6. So here, when we pick minus 3 multiplied by minus 3, we get positive 9. And when we pick minus 3 plus minus 3, we get negative 6. This shows that these are the possible two factors in which when multiplied, we get 9, and then when we add, we get negative 6. Therefore, we need to introduce our two brackets in our next step, as shown below. So open two brackets and we equate it to 0. And remember, we have 3y raised to the power 2. So we need to split this one into the bracket. So here 3y raised to the power 2 is going to be seen as 3y here and then 3y here. Remember, assuming we have y raised to the power 2, then we will introduce the bracket by splitting y here and then y here. But if we have a coefficient, say positive 5, then instead of us to write y here and then y also here, then we have to introduce the bracket, and then we bring 5y here and then we bring 5y here. But because of our coefficient here is 3, then we need to split this 3y square in this form. 3y here and then also 3y here. Is there that we have to come to the two factors, which is minus 3 and then minus 3. So here we put minus 3 here, and then we also put minus 3 here, and we equate it to 0. So here we can easily find the value of y. So here this implies that 3y minus 3 is equal to 0. Remember, we could have also write 3y minus 3 is equal to 0, but they are all the same, so we pick one of them. So here, to get the value for y, then we need to send minus 3 to the other side of the equation, and then we get 3y is equal to positive 3. To get y, we divide here by 3, here by 3. So here, y is going to be 1. Remember, this is not the final answer to the question. Remember, we represented 3 raised to the power x as y is equal to 3 raised to the power x. Therefore, to find x, then we need to do our substitution. So wherever we see y here, we need to put 1 there. So here, this one is going to be 1 is equal to 3 raised to the power x. So remember, 1 is equal to 3 raised to the power x. This one can also be written as 3 raised to the power 0. So here, this implies that 3 raised to the power 0 is equal to 3 raised to the power x. So here, to get the value for x, remember the law of indices that states that if the bases are the same and there's equal sign in between, then we need to make use of the exponential terms and then do away with the base. So here, in the end, we have x is equal to 0. Therefore, the value of x that satisfies the equation, this equation is 0. Therefore, the value of x is now 0. So this is where we can end the solution to this question. So viewers, try and share this to your learner colleagues and give comments in the comment section below. Bye-bye.